In part one of these 4 10-minute films on the F-111 mission simulator, we saw the first 6 months of the conversion course, where crew learn basic operation of the aircraft, day and night flying, and weapon systems. Now it's time for them to start thinking tactically about employing the aircraft and those weapons in combat scenarios.
Well, Gulf War 1 was a key element of showing us how mission simulation, mission rehearsal could really improve the capability of crews flying the operation.
You can make mistakes in simulators and you actually survive. You can't make mistakes in the real aeroplane. So, but use of the simulator allows junior air crew to make those sort of mistakes and learn from them without any tragic consequences.
The second 6 months of simulator training on the F-111 represents a quantum leap in expectations of flight crews. The goal is that after 6 months intensive training in the simulator and aircraft, crews will be ready to fly the plane into combat as wingmen. For the first time, there is the very real possibility that these aircrew will be fighting a war. Instructors and trainees push themselves to the limits in order to achieve the highest standard of operational readiness.
RAAF Base Amberley is the home of the F-111. All of the boys and girls, the men and women who fly this aeroplane, come through the simulator on a very regular basis as part of their initial training and as part of their ongoing currency training. And here we teach them how to use the aircraft systems, we teach them how to fight, we put them into simulated combat environments, the likes of which they can only dream of. Anything that the aeroplane is ever likely to be called upon to do, we'll do with them in the simulator. We take the best, we make them better.
The F-111 was designed to deliver weapons at low altitudes and high speed in all weather conditions. This is where the aircraft's terrain following radar, or TFR, is crucial. Hugging the ground at 200 feet and travelling at speeds of 500 to 600 knots, the success of the mission and survival of the crew depend on perfect operation of the TFR. Engineers worked for several years to reproduce the operation of the TFR in the simulator. Riding on a wave of new computing and graphics technology in the mid-90s, Thales and its partners employed an SGI 3000 Onyx supercomputer and completely customised software.
We took a SGI 3000 series, which is a supercomputer, but we did it in stages. So we started out with 64 processors, and then as funds and stuff, and over time we added more and more modules, so increased its size and capability in steps.
Well over 1 million lines of code later, the simulator was able to project not only a high-definition out-the-window view onto the IMAX-style screen, but also provide realistic vision through the various radar and infrared navigation screens in the cockpit.
Halfway between 300 and 400
Crews progressing through the conversion course learn to drop a variety of dumb bombs. But the most valuable feature of the F-111 is the ability to drop laser-guided precision weaponry, such as the Paveway 2 and Paveway 3 missiles employing the PaveTac system. PaveTac is an electro-optical weapons guidance system mounted in the belly of the aircraft. Comprising a long-range infrared camera and laser, it is controlled by the Air Combat Officer and Navigator after weapons release. The infrared camera can swivel around 360 degrees to keep the target in view while the aircraft manoeuvres for egress. The Navigator then paints the target with the laser and the weapon follows, allowing pinpoint bombing accuracy. Delivery of guided weapons using PaveTac involves advanced tactical manoeuvring, most often using what pilots call the toss manoeuvre.
The toss manoeuvre is designed to throw a bomb a fair distance, and that's the purpose of it. So the aircraft comes in at a reasonable speed, somewhere between 540 and 600 knots. 4G pull up to release the weapon, roll, turn, guide the weapon in at the same time from the right seat as the pilot's flying the manoeuvre from the left, roll out, re-engage the autopilot on the TFR, back down and away.
This entire complex manoeuvre could be perfectly recreated in the simulator, allowing aircrew to practice this demanding three-dimensional manoeuvre time and time again before putting their skills to test in the real aircraft.
We should have got flares out.
In fact, F-111 crews often claimed that they could place a bomb through any window, in any building, in any major city of our region. But this second 6 months of training is about more than just operating the aircraft and its weapon systems effectively. Crews are encouraged to start thinking outside their own aircraft and how to employ it and its weapons for a purpose. Here, the advantages of a full mission simulator over a simple flight simulator become apparent. Unlike conventional simulators bought off the shelf and which can fall quickly out of date, the F-111 mission simulator was entirely owned and developed by the RAAF in association with Thales Australia. This meant that the simulator could be modified over time to simulate real-world missions. New enemy threats or upgrades to the F-111 weapons and electronic warfare suite could be added to allow crews to train in a fully realistic battle environment. New terrain could be added for crews to practice missions in any part of the world before they flew there in the real aircraft. The terrain databases of the simulator, held in infrared as well as electro-optical formats, allowed aircrew to operate from a vast array of airfields and fly tactically in the exact environments in preparation for deployed operations. The infrared format allowed full training use of the PaveTac target designation system and an accurate replication of the video from the AGM-142 guided weapon. Just as important was the fact that the simulation also contained rules-based, artificially intelligent entities simulating all the region's threats, including surface-to-air missiles, military aircraft, ships and radar systems. These entities were constructed from Australian, US and other classified sources, simulating threats from most of the F-111's region of operations in high definition. This means that crews training on the simulator can do much more than just practice flying a single aircraft against a target. From the instructor-operator station, instructors devise scenarios involving whole strike packages to fly along with crews in the simulator cockpit. This includes accompanying strike aircraft from allied nations with defending fighters such as FA-18 Hornets, AWACS and KC-135 or KC-10 tankers. Not only can they include friendly support aircraft in the scenario, but also pit crews against squadrons of Red Air such as Sukhoi and MiGs, enemy SAMs and radar-guided anti-aircraft batteries. In the F-111 simulator, instructors can throw pilots into full wartime tactical situations and teach them how to survive and be effective. Crews use the entire range of weapons on the F-111 to survive in these scenarios, even if this means having to fight their way out of a target area using AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles against enemy fighters.
The visual effects are important on the simulator because they're real-time and they're interactive. The host has to calculate where the effect is going to happen, how big it's going to be, how long it happens for.
The image generator is unique because it has to support both high-altitude mission operations, which they can sit up at 50,000 feet and drop weaponry, and at the same time, this aircraft can fly 200 feet using a terrain-following radar.
The goal of the training at this stage is not to make crews fail. Rather, instructors begin to load up the tactical environment and see what errors emerge in such a complex multitasking situation. These errors can be as simple as switch PiGs, for example, leaving the laser switch on/off when releasing a weapon through PaveTac, or an error of tactical thinking in coordinating with support aircraft. Each error is used to allow learning points to come out in the post-mission debrief. If crews put in a perfect performance, instructors will load them up even further in order to iron out every last wrinkle. This means that at the end of the first 12 months, crews have reached the high operational standard for which the RAAF is famous amongst air forces worldwide.